she's actually trying to come in and win. So I think that that's probably the main reason why she's doing this, to show like, look, we can really compete against our male counterparts. And honestly, I think this is a really even matchup.
Battle of the Sexes does not just exist on the Fumble. It also exists in the sport of tennis, Samaria. So Aryna Sabalenka and Nick Kyrgios are set to take place in a match against each other in Dubai. And I'm just excited for this because I feel like tennis, as somebody who gets his ass whooped regularly by women in tennis, I feel like tennis is the sport in which sometimes skill can overcome power and athleticism. And so the Battle of the Sexes is an event that has taken place in the past. Billie Jean King was a woman who defeated a man in 1973, I believe. And so there is some history for women having success in the Battle of the Sexes. Is anything about this at all exciting to you?
Yeah, of course. Obviously, we know that Sabalenka is at the top of her game right now. It's interesting that she did say, I want to do something like this. We know that Dubai, they're probably paying her a pretty penny. And Nick is saying that this is all about entertainment for him, where she's actually trying to come in and win. So I think that that's probably the main reason why she's doing this, to show like, look, we can really compete against our male counterparts. And honestly, I think this is a really even matchup, because we know that Nick hasn't really played much this season. He's been podcasting, he's been doing speaking engagements, where Sabalenka is literally at the top of her game, and she seems to be the more powerful player. So I'm curious to know like your thoughts on if one wins or the other wins, and what does that mean for their career?
Okay, so let's contextualize this. So Aryna Sabalenka is the world's #1 women's tennis player. Nick Kyrgios is currently ranked 650th. Okay, so we got #1 versus number 650. But the one equalizer in tennis is serving. And so when you serve, that speed can dictate how a game is played. So if and Nick Kyrgios obviously, has a little more, has more power on his serve. He could probably hit up to 125, 130 miles per hour on his serve, whereas Sabalenka might be around the 115 range. And even that 10 miles per hour difference can create a huge adjustment for somebody trying to return a service. Like that's the tough part. Obviously Nick is going to be a little bit more athletic. He's taller, he's longer, he can get the different balls. And Sabalenka does overpower a lot of her opponents. So she won't quite be able to do that. So it'll be interesting to see if she's able to adjust her game to maybe point out and work around some of the deficiencies that Nick has, because again, he's 650th. So he's not like the most dominant male tennis player. As far as what this does for their careers respectively, I don't think if Nick loses, it'll probably further entrench him in the podcasting space. He might arrive to retirement a little bit sooner. But for Sabalenka, I mean, she's the best player in the world currently. So I don't know that this has any, real value for her, other than maybe there's a Nike campaign that rolls out in the aftermath of it. So from a marketing and promotion standpoint, maybe. But this made me want to ask, do you think there's any other sports that men and women can compete in against each other, and there's some level of an even playing field? And I'm asking, like in tennis, they have mixed doubles, right? So you do have a portion of tennis matches that men and women are on the courts together, right? Mixed doubles is a legitimate part of the tennis experience. But is there any other sport, any other thing that you think men and women can compete at where, okay, we can do this?
I feel like in basketball, we've seen just it has to be a specific skill competition, right? We saw the 3-point competition. We wanted to see Caitlin, compete against Steph or somebody. Like we saw Steph compete against Sabrina, but I mean, an actual game. No, maybe golf is something that maybe like the playing field is a little bit more even, but even still, I feel like unfortunately the men have a little bit more of an advantage because they could probably hit the ball harder.
Yeah, on a professional level, you're right. That golf is a good call. But I don't know if you've ever been to a golf course and like really played, like there is a different starting point for men and women to tee off from, even on golf courses. So there's a little bit of a discrepancy there. But so at the professional level, but on the amateur level, there are, I think, a number of sports where women can give men the business. Like I done seen some women at LA Fitness. I'll tell you a quick story. I went on a first date one time with this woman when I was living in Atlanta. And she told me that this is many, many moons ago. She told me that she hooped overseas. And I was like, Yeah. All right. And so our first date, I took her to run and shoot in Atlanta. Anybody from the A, you know what I'm saying, remembers run and shoot. And when I tell you she bust my ass, like so bad that there was a 5-on-5 game in the court right next to us, and they ended up picking her up and not picking me up. And I was very embarrassed because I'm not a terrible hooper, but she bust my ass. She did.
I would like to know what her name is.
I can't because she's currently married and well known. And
no, I'm saying off camera.
Oh yeah. I'll let you know off camera.
No, that is interesting. That's interesting. I'm trying to think, but I mean, like, obviously, yes, at the amateur level, people can compete or whatever. Professionally, it's going to be tough. I'm like trying to think of like weird sports like cornhole or bowling. You know what I mean? Like,
okay.
But
bowling. I would want to see an Angel Reese and Draymond Green rugged rebound competition. Just like,
okay, so how, I need the rules. Like, let's break that down.
But not competing against each other, but just being able to rebound in traffic and like swing elbows. I just would want to see like some kind of competition between Angel Reese and Draymond Green. There's a parallel there between the two. I can't, I mean, obviously Angel is way more beautiful than he is, but there's something there about their tenacity on the court that I just feel like there's some sort of diving for loose balls, something that they share an energy, a likeness in some regards.
And obviously people like these battle of the sexes moments. Like you just brought up the Billie King, 1973, that brought in 90 million viewers worldwide. We saw how big, like I just brought up the Steph Curry, the Sabrina Ionescu moment that we saw during the NBA All-Star weekend. So maybe like NBA specifically, we could see something more, more battle of the sexes moments. Like you just brought up the Angel Reese, Draymond Green. That could be something, or maybe like a skills competition where we have like two teams. I think people like that. And then it's bragging rights and it's just entertaining.
Yeah, the skills challenge I think would be a great battlefield for men and women to compete on. But then there's also like even sports that are kind of non-traditional. You're diving, right? You're surfing. There are some other sports that, you'd be not even surprised, but that there's a equal playing field. I just think that even in some instances, like Katie Ledecky, like, the women's all-time greatest swimmer, like how would she fare against one of the lower ranked male swimmers in certain strokes? I think, for like a breaststroke, or something like that. That sounded crazy because she's a woman. I wasn't saying that. I wasn't using the breaststroke because she has breasts, but just wanted to clarify that.
Something else that's interesting is like the USA women's rugby team is, they're good. Like if they had, no, they're good.
Yeah,
the women's rugby team.
Are you trying to have them compete?
No, I'm saying if they competed against, if they did like a flag, if the rugby team could do like a flag football against the NFL, their flag football when they do their Pro Bowl.
Let me reel you back in.
I'm just trying.
Okay. You think? Come on, like we not. I just think that NFL athletes are the most physical athletes by far, and I think anything regarding like physicality, speed, agility, nobody can beat them. Like that's not.
I'm just saying. I think it would make for like an interesting competition if you have like the best of the best women rugby players in the United States that compete for the Olympics play up against the Pro Bowl players for the NFL.
I don't think there's a chance in hell. But, David did beat Goliath with a sling and a rock. So anything is possible. But I do like the idea of more crossover between men and women in sports, especially because as we see with the WNBA, there is a lot of attention on women's sports right now. And it doesn't just exist in the WNBA. I mean, there's even women's football leagues and flag football leagues that people are at the very least watching highlights of. But I think some of this crossover appeal will help create more eyeballs on women's sports that maybe that they deserve that they don't get currently, And so I think that just like kind of like music, right? So when one artist is a big artist, you put an artist like Drake on a record with the Migos early on in their career, and it births, an entire new genre, an entire new lane for the Migos. And so I think in the world of sports, I would love to see some more of that crossover appeal help benefit women's sports, because I watch WNBA basketball. I watch, volleyball. I think we all kind of watch every now and again, some of us for different reasons. But I just think that it will showcase the level of skill and ability that women possess. And I think in some instances, that'll bode extremely well, especially because women support women, especially when women are going up against men.
Yeah. And historically, they're the underdog. And so people like that storyline as well.
NASCAR. Oh yeah, NASCAR. We forgot about NASCAR, car racing.
Yeah. Well, they already compete against each other, so that's not necessarily a.
Yeah, we've had one or two. I'm just saying, like this is somewhat of a even playing field there, level playing field. And then of course, rap music. Women are kicking the guy's ass right. Hip hop is a sport, fam. Okay, and the women are kicking ass right now in hip hop. Most of my favorite rappers right now. A few of my favorite rappers right now are women. So, yeah,
okay,
they make better music.
Who's your top?
Rhapsody, Doechii, Doja Cat, I think are three of the best artists, regardless of gender, that exists currently.
I thought you was going to go in another direction.
What you thought I was going to say, like Cardi B and Nicki Minaj? Nah, I'm not. That's not my vibe.
I don't know.
I don't like
that's why I had
rap.
To ask you.
Nah, too much vagina in my rap.
That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. But anyways, I am really excited though about this Battle of the Sexes. It's Christmas Day. That's crazy. Giving us something else to watch on Christmas in Dubai. But you all let us know in the comments your thoughts on this Battle of the Sexes. And then we kind of threw out some wild Battle of the Sexes ideas. You let us know which one was your favorite in the comments below.
For sure though, man. And then make sure you tap into our newsletter. The link can be found in our bio, keeping you up to date on all things in the world of sports over here at the Fumble. You dig me? Do I have too much chest out or not enough chest out? Should I have gone one button?
You're fine. No, you're fine.